When Dhobi got released, it was an anomaly. It was very hard to put out films like that in the cinema. It was harder actually when we were editing, because at the edit stage, we took a lot of care to remove anything that we felt was like too on the nose, telling you things. Parsh's audition, which came really early on, was a completely mind-bending audition because he did literally 2 takes and both takes are outstanding. I don't know why I feel Kajol. I really loved her and him in Fana. They were so good together. But Rani is a very great match for Amit. They always have great chemistry on screen.
Hello everyone, this is Aina and welcome to Instant Bollywood. I'm in conversation with a fantastic filmmaker, Kiran Rao, today, who has just made Lapata Ladies, and what a lovely movie. I was literally in tears by the end of it. Very, very nice and very, very sweet the messaging was. I want to start off by asking you that how did you find yourself on set after so long as a director?
Well, when I made the film, of course in 21, it had been 10 years since I had released Dhobi Ghat almost. So it was nerve-wracking initially because I realized so much has changed technologically in terms of how we view films. Lots has changed, but I feel some things do stay constant, which is the fact that I think we all respond to a good story. And I started off with a very great, a really well-written script. So that gave me the confidence to go out and tell the story the way we'd written it. It was fun. It took me a while to find the kind of story I wanted to tell, and I finally found that in 2018 when Amir shared. It was then called Two Brides.
Yes,
that was the name, and then that we developed it and worked at it, and then arrived at a nice balance, we thought, between sort of comedy and drama. And
but I have to ask you, in today's time, now we've reached a point where the story is the hero and we are accepting the fact that the story is the hero of the film. Does that make you feel a little more comfortable as a filmmaker that now I can tell the stories that I want to in the true sense? Because now if probably Dhobi Ghat would have made, it would have been received very differently.
It might have, It's actually, you're right to the extent that actually when Dhobi Ghat released, it was an anomaly. It was very hard to put out films like that in the cinema. Probably would have had a different fate today. But honestly, all things considered, I still feel very hard to put out films like these in the theatre. People, automatically assume that OTT pe aayegi. So that kind of thinking now has crept in, and I feel it's a combination of many reasons why it's hard for filmmakers to make films like mine. You want to connect directly with an audience, you want to be speaking to a wide mass audience, but you want to challenge the norms, you want to do something differently than what people are accustomed to seeing. And to make space for things like that, actually the market, the ecosystem has to change a little bit. I feel like, we have to make cinema going more accessible, more cheap, ticket prices more affordable. That's when you'll start getting the mass of India back in cinemas.
True.
True. We still are making what are called multiplex films. But this film I really made for the mass of India. I really wanted it to travel very wide, and that will hopefully be the attempt even going forward, is how to take it to places which are still in some ways dark zones when in the country where there's no multiplexes or no big cinema theatres. How many places there are? We don't have enough cinemas actually.
Plus they kind of consider these artistic kind of films, so we have to try and kind of make it like your commercial films.
Commercial films can be like this, they can be funny, they can be still not I don't know, aesthetically in some way different. So it's a journey now. We'll have to see how things pan out.
I'm sure it'll change with time. I have that belief. But also when I was watching the film, usually क्या होता है जब एक filmmaker एक अपनी film बना रहा होता है, so there is this personal touch that they give to the film, or they have their personal experience that we can see in the film. You're not coming from a background that's rural, or you haven't personally gone through these experiences in your life. How do you kind of make a film that you've not experienced?
You have to really immerse yourself in the heart of the story, the what you've written, what you want to say. I think if you connect very deeply with that, because that's a human experience. Beyond a point, it's not about village or city, or it's about girls, it's about people, it's about, you know, families and community and society and what's expected of people. You know, and if you connect very deeply with what you're trying to say through your film, I think, you know, sort of depicting that honestly, or, you know, in a way where you create that world in a way that's pleasing yet believable, that becomes easier because you've already connected with the material itself. You know, I feel like after that, it's research, it's referencing, it's using experiences that you've had in life, your observations of life. So it becomes easier once you've you feel like deeply connected with the story itself.
But it's a lot of research, I have to say, especially when you're not coming from that place.
You know, but I do feel living in India, we all have some connect with villages. Like, it's not like rural India is unknown to me. I've grown up traveling between north and south because my parents were from the south, I lived in the north, so we kind of had a lot of travel by trains, in fact. So in fact the trains were a very personal touch for me. We work in Pani Foundation in villages of Maharashtra, so I travel extensively. I suppose at some point have come from a village myself. We all have. Cities are a much more recent development in life, but we've all in some way had roots in villages.
You know, even when I was like interviewing the cast, first of all, they're so lovely, and even the fact that I told them while watching the film that it's giving out a lot of messages, but in the most non-preachy manner. Like, आपको पता नहीं चल रहा है कि ये message जा रहा है, which is difficult in films that have a social message, because it can come out very preachy. As a filmmaker, how do you strike that balance that I don't want my film to be like ये होना चाहिए और ये सही है, ये गलत है?
That was one of the ideas that we started out with, that look, we have a lot that we want to say, but it has to be done through characters, through, you know, through situation, through your response to a situation, through funny dialogue, through reactions, you know. Because the second you stand and someone's got a long monologue about something, the audience switches off, because honestly the audience lives here and they know these things. It's not something, what we're saying is not new. It's just perhaps the way that we're saying it, or trying to sort of give these ideas some new life, you know. So how do you do it in the most fun way? I suppose that was the filter that we put on everything. You know, jo bhi kehna hai, do it in a way that's fun experience. And you take that home and you can relive those ideas, you know.
But was that challenging at any point?
I mean, it was harder actually when we were editing, because at the edit stage, we took a lot of care to remove anything that we felt was like too on the nose, telling you things, कि मैं खड़े होके आपको समझा रही हूँ. वो सारे जो dialogues थे हमने निकाल दिए. तो end तक हम actually literally shave करते गए. Like, we were literally little everything. The balance was very important.
Absolutely.
So the challenge was actually in the edit, because we shot the whole film और पहला हमारा जो decent edit था वो 2 घंटे 20 मिनट का था, 22 मिनट. So we've taken out 20 minutes without losing what we wanted to say, 100%. Without touching the story. So that was the challenge.
And developing every character.
And the character development staying the way it was. Absolutely.
You know, even when I was speaking to the cast, there's this sense of innocence. Like, even when I interview a lot of people, very rarely do I get to see this essence that these actors have. Was that the reason you wanted to cast fresh faces? That मुझे ये innocence चाहिए?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a sense of feeling of like relatability and familiarity about these people, that you feel like you know them, you experience them, you know how they are feeling, and I suppose because they're so fresh, they come from that place of innocence, in a sense, like you said the word, it's a lack of being jaded, the opposite of being jaded, you know. They're excited about everything, they really wanted to immerse, they have a sort of hunger that perhaps, you know, actors who aren't on, you know, don't have, who've done a lot of work and perhaps are further away from this kind of experience. They're also very young themselves. They really are very young. So for them, they were really living their lives through this film in some ways, you know.
Pash actually told me how he gave that audition by putting the danda on the rice sack. And he kept the phone so that he could audition it with proper light. So that was just, the audition story itself was a journey.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And you know, I really feel I should put out some of those auditions, because Sparsh's audition was just, even because Nitanchi's audition was also amazing. And Pratibha's was much later.
Yeah.
So by then, we were not just auditioning, we were meeting people by then. I mean, we did see her audition, but we knew that we wanted. So Parsh's audition, which came really early on, was a completely mind-bending audition because he did literally 2 takes and both takes are outstanding.
Oh my god.
They're really outstanding. They both have like slight differences in character.
Yeah.
And they are so good. I was like, immediately.
You should put them out. I'm very
I
curious.
should
Yeah,
really.
yeah, it'll
They're
create
so
buzz.
good. They're
for
so
sure.
good.
You know, lastly, I have to say, I even told them that one character that stood out for me was Ravi Kishan's character, about how he was very, greedy about money, and then you see that whole improvement in him. And Amir was tempted to apparently play that role. For an actor like Amir Khan, who is so hungry for good characters ever since, no matter what the cinema was doing, how does he convince himself that I think I should let this go?
Yeah, it I think was a tough one for him and for me, honestly, because he did a very good audition. That also I'll put out at some point because it was really good. And he had a very different take on it. Like his vibe was kind of a little more wicked. He was a little dangerous, a little more dangerous. Whereas this Manohar is still kind of, you can't tell what he is. You can't predict. It was honestly hard also because it changes the box office returns considerably if you have someone like Amir. You're insured a certain amount at the box office. For a small film, actually, that's a big make or break. I mean, I'm hoping that this film proves that we are beyond only wanting to see stars in roles, because I think Ravi Ji has done an amazing character. He's played it so well. But for Amir, I think the deciding factor was the idea that having him in that role in some way predicted what was going to happen. Like, we felt like he was going to do something major at some point. He couldn't have just been around.
Yeah.
It's like Amir Khan's not just going to do some role for nothing. So it sort of put some expectations in places where we weren't keen we have them. And also, I think once he saw Ravi Ji's audition, kind of reading with me and all that, we realized he brings a certain authentic, sort of organic quality to this cop.
True.
So I think that also really convinced him that it would be better for Ravi.
Does the producer in you convince the director in you that it's okay, let go of the box office numbers for the character?
Yeah. The director in me convinced me this time. It was more putting on the director. On this film, I really allowed myself to just be the director as much as possible. Though I produced it myself in the sense my company Kindling produced it for Amir Khan Productions. I mean, we're kind of co-producers. But I was very keen that I don't have that pressure because I've really been waiting to direct all this time.
Yes.
So I really wanted to do what I felt was right for the film, and really not necessarily right for, say, the numbers. Yeah. So it's a privilege I rarely have, so I took it.
No, absolutely. I think this is how the change starts. I have a small little rapid fire for you that I'm going to quickly ask you. A favorite film of yours of Amir Khan?
Tare Zameen Par.
Yeah, can't match. If you could direct a film in the recent times, which is already out, which one would it be and why?
Masaan.
Yeah.
I just love that film.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful film.
If you had to co-direct with a director, which director would you pick?
I think I would pick Neeraj Ghewal.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, I really love him.
He's an amazing director.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had to cast an actress opposite Amir Khan who you think he would share good chemistry with on screen, who would it be?
I don't know why I feel Kajol. I really loved her and him in Fana. They were so good together. But Rani is a very great match for Amir. They always have great chemistry on screen.
Yeah. One word that still keeps your friendship intact with him no matter what.
What do I say? Love.
Yeah.
We deeply love each other, so that friendship can't go anywhere.
That's the key to everything.
Yeah.
An actor or an actress you would put your money on as a producer?
Alia, I think.
Yeah.
Because she's really she's really a talented actor, and I feel like she's got an interesting mind even as a creative person.
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, if you had to pick a genre next for the kind of film you want to direct, which genre would it be?
I'd like something kind of dark and theatrical, really strange and dark and
like a thriller.
Moody, yeah, maybe even thriller-ish, you
Yeah.
know, suspenseful. Though I hate suspense myself.
Really?
oddly. Yeah, I'm really
Okay.
bad with it. But I feel like something really almost melodramatic, kind of like dark drama.
I hope this comes soon and not in a gap of 12 years. Hope
Yeah.
we're going to see you direct super quick. Thank you so much for
Thanks
chatting
a
with
lot,
us.
Aina.
And thank you for Lapata Ladies. It's a lovely film and I hope people are going to watch it.
Please do. Please like, share, and subscribe to Instant Bollywood.